with Andy, Ruther, and Joe Praino. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm Andy Ruther, coming to you live on this Sunday afternoon, Selection Sunday, from the clubhouse in downtown Los Angeles, making his triumphant return, filling in for Joey No-Chill Praino, my man, Tug Coker.
I'm back. Feels good to be back. You know, I want to say you put me in Joe's seat. I had a Miller Lite on the way over in his honor.
You had a Miller Lite in his honor.
Yep.
While you were driving.
Yeah, well.
Great influence, Tug. Great.
That was Joe. Funneling through me.
That was Joe funneling through you.
You put him in this seat. It's shrinks him down. Is there a height thing that's going on here?
No, this is kind of how we do it because I'm a little guy, so this chair elevates me a little so I can be on your level.
Well, it feels good, man. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you back, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Tug, as you guys know, is the creator and star of Now We're Talking.
Yep, I want to thank everybody from all the dirtballs who listened to the podcast back in December. I think we were on, and then checked out the show. It was a blast to talk to some of you guys, and I hope we're talking about doing more now. We're doing some negotiations with Go 90 and Uninterrupted, which is LeBron's camp. So the good news is everybody wants to do more. So thank you guys. And
now, if you need tweets, you know how the dirtballs are. If you need anybody to tweet at Verizon Go 90 during these negotiations,
that would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, you can hit up at Go 90 and just tell them how much you love the show. But I think people enjoy the show. I mean, as you know, we were lucky enough to get a Writers Guild award for the show.
That's right.
Which meant a lot. So Tommy and I went to the Writers Guild Awards. We wore our suits and looked dapper. And then our awards event, I think the nomination was like 2 hours in. We thought we'd be pretty early. So we didn't drink that much.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know if we were going to win. We had a speech prepared. We lost. And I immediately saw Tommy, Dewey, my partner, take about a half bottle of wine and chug it.
That's what he did.
Yeah,
now, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I think I know why you guys lost.
Why is that?
You didn't invite Joe and I as your dates.
No, it's 100%.
Because I don't know if you know, we have this thing called the Dirty Sports Bump, where anything we get involved with just elevates people's careers.
Why am I learning about this after the show? I could have used this 3 weeks ago.
Did you take your wife?
I did take my wife, and here's why. One, she's my wife.
Okay.
And two,
I look great in a dress, by the way.
I saw a picture.
You see that on Instagram?
Tweeted out the other night. I'm pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was me as Baby Spice. Not gonna lie, I pull off a mean Baby Spice.
Well, the reason that in addition to her being my wife, when I did a play, I think I told you last time, I did a play on Broadway almost 5 years ago where I played Larry Bird.
Okay, I'm glad
Broadway.
we got that out, by the way, because real quick. We've had a huge HIV discussion going on the show because it's dirty sports.
Yeah.
And Joe wasn't sure. We had to verify if you had played Larry Bird or Magic Johnson.
We had to verify this,
even though you had already told us.
But doesn't it seem obvious?
No, we weren't sure.
Yeah, okay.
It's 2017.
It's very true.
You might identify as an HIV-infected black man. We don't know.
That's very true. And for all the dirty sports fans who are also Hamilton fans on Broadway,
we have a big crossover.
There's a big crossover. I mean, the Venn diagram of this is huge.
Big crossover of people who like to drink and watch sports and go to the Hamilton musical.
People know that actors of ethnicity are playing these older white gentlemen from the Revolutionary War. So
exactly.
It's not, who says, I can play Magic.
Have you seen Hamilton?
I have.
Did you like it?
Yeah, well, here's another funny coincidence. The director of Magic Bird, the show I was in, big sports fan, his name is Tommy Kail, also directed Hamilton.
Oh.
So I was one play away from being great. Instead, I'm sitting here with you today.
Well, Tug, I appreciate the backhanded slap as you just did there. But first of all, we're talking about the Magic Johnson thing.
Yeah.
So, Joe, you never had conversations if Magic, because we're convinced that Magic Johnson was banging dudes.
You
didn't ask him.
I didn't ask them that one. I didn't get to that question.
I just picture Magic coming in your dressing room before you guys go on Broadway, and you're like, dude, love you as a player, one of the best ever. Did you ever bang dudes?
Yeah. I had a list of questions. That was pretty low on the list. But Magic is an awesome guy.
Sure.
He's an incredible guy.
I've heard that.
Came in and watched a rehearsal. Larry, who I also love, and as I said last time, met a few times, including in Indiana. But he was more, as you would expect, just a little bit more reclusive, more. I mean, we are amazed that he even flew in to see the show.
Yeah.
Magic's there giving notes, as you would expect. He's like telling me how Larry would do this or that.
Yeah.
I was happy to take that note. But to circle this all the way back, when we went to opening night of the show, Magic and Larry were there. And we had to do a photo session with Magic, Larry, myself, and Kevin Daniels, the guy who played Magic Johnson. And I never took one picture with my wife. I just got so engrossed with being around one of my favorite player of all time, Larry Bird. I completely forgot about my wife.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
No, it's easy to happen.
It's really bad. So
I mean, your wife. No offense to your wife. Never met her. I'm sure she's a lovely lady.
She's lovely.
She's never won 3 NBA titles. She's never won MVPs. So you know.
Yeah, wasn't part of the dream team.
What has she done, really?
You know what? We're going to have this conversation when I get home.
Okay.
I'm going to have to ask her about that.
Let her listen to this show. and first of all, you'll never come back on.
No, I'm done.
You're done.
Yeah.
But that's great, man. And I know you're really – well, first of all, I want to talk about the other night before we get into the sports.
Okay.
So I was performing at the West Side Comedy Theater Thursday night, an 8 o'clock show, and I do my set. You
tweeted out to the Dirtballs, if anybody going to the show, I'm buying beers.
Correct.
So this is where I got wind of the show. Now, I happen to live about less than a mile from this theater. So I said, why don't I go and watch the set so we can have something kind of fun to talk about besides sports on the show.
And
you saw me.
And you didn't tell me.
I did not tell you.
So I do my set. There's 7 or 8 comics. It's one of those shows where there's too many comics. Everybody gets 8 minutes a set. And as I'm walking out of the green room afterwards to go to the bar to grab a water or something, Tug is literally sitting in the corner by himself with 2 bottles of Perrier, just all hunched over, like you're some sleazy agent that was looking for talent.
I didn't know if I wanted you to see me. I don't know how certain people are. I watched you.
Because I didn't.
This sounds so stalkery right now.
Yeah,
guys.
I didn't see you at all during my set.
I really am sorry about this. Yeah, because I was watching. Because there's 7, 8 the comics.
Yeah.
Comics or comedians?
Same shit.
Okay, 7 or 8 comics. Yeah. And the audience is probably 50 people, 60 people. Nice small room, so it felt good.
Yeah, I love that room.
And I just watched people kind of pacing back and forth. Do people talk to people before sets? You kind of poke your head in and out. I think people wanted to know, do you have a certain, preparation? I mean, that's what I was interested to know about. I mean, you couldn't.
I mean,
you didn't care, I guess.
I'll watch some other comics, and I'll watch the crowd because I want to see what they're doing. I was going up later in that show, so I want to gauge the crowd.
Yeah.
But usually I'm just hanging out in the green room talking to comics or just kind of periodically watching their sets.
If Seinfeld came to see the show, would you want to know beforehand, or would you care? Or someone that you ever either admired or had influence?
I'd have more pressure if I knew Seinfeld was watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
When I did the play or other plays, I never wanted to know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know who was in the audience, whether it was, Larry Bird or Bobby Cannavale or any of these people that ever came.
Yeah.
It always kind of messed with me.
I think I perform better, though, when I know I have friends or family there. Mm-hmm. But if there's good comics watching, that's when I might care more. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
I might tense up.
I feel like I should have told you that I was there because you would have had a better performance.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that's on me.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
No, I thought you were great. I really did. I told Tommy that I thought your set was funny, and I thought everyone was pretty good. But I thought you 8 minutes is if you're not great, 8 minutes seems like an eternity.
Yeah.
But yours felt like you got the light, which means and it felt like 2 minutes. So.
I know. I wanted to keep going that night. I'll admit I hit my stride that night. I'm working my ass off lately on sets and writing and just trying to get out new material. So.
You told me that later that night. I hope I'm not telling too much. That you've no partying right now, no having
Dirtballs.
fun.
No, I'm not having sex.
Yeah, no sex. You did tell me that instead of sex, you're watching our friend Tommy Dewey on Casual have sex. So it is weird to hear that.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. I wish Tommy was here because the last time we saw you guys for lunch, he was eating all healthy and he had a hilarious line. He said, I have to watch how I look because I'm fake fucking on film next week.
That's right. That's right.
So, that was the thing. After you guys came on our show last time, I'd already watched all of Now We're Talking. Yeah. And then I binge watched Tommy's show on Hulu, and I didn't know how much sex he was having in the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is great, man. He's just banging hot chicks left and right. And I'm on like this kick where I'm like over 4 months now without sex.
Yeah, you get that it's weird though, right? Like you're not having sex, but you're telling me how much you're enjoying one of our friends having fake sex.
Yeah, it is
on
weird.
TV. That is
It's just another thing that points that maybe I'm gay. Like there's been all these things over the years that are just like maybe Ruther secretly is gay.
Yeah, and this is good fodder though. I mean, you're using this material somehow. It's going to come out in a joke somewhere.
Well, you know what's weird? The last thing, and then we'll actually get to the sports. Dirtball's like, what the fuck is going on today? I literally have been more creative in these last few months than I had, because it's not just sex. That's what people like. Like Praino's not here to defend himself, but we've had this argument so many times. He doesn't get it. It's not just sex. It's the texting, the Bumble, the Tinder.
You're talking about the work.
It's fucking distractions, man.
Yeah.
Just open your laptop, crank one out, then go back to writing.
Are you doing any marijuana or anything like that?
I'll occasionally get high, but I'm pretty clean.
It's impressive. There's not a lot of comics out there that are probably doing this, I would have to say.
Well, there's a lot of dorky comics though,
that's
too.
True. No, that's true.
You'd have no clue.
I saw a couple.
Yeah.
The other night.
A couple ate it. I'm not gonna lie. There were some shitty comics the other night.
Last question, then we'll move into sports. How does that show determine who's on the list? Because you have obviously a nice following. The host had a nice following. There's some people who don't have, who are just starting. So how do you think they put together that lineup?
Well, that my friend Dennis Gubbins runs that show.
Yeah.
So most shows are run by comics.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's networking. It's like anything.
Yeah, no.
It's like anything in this business. So he runs that show and he puts me up basically.
That's cool.
So. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank the Dirtballs for letting me get these questions out. I've been saving it for 3 days.
I appreciate it.
I snuck up on you. I hid behind my hands and my Perrier.
And it's nice having a co-host who actually cares about me.
I do care about you.
Because Joe's a dick.
No, Joe texted me away from you and said how much he cares. No, he did.
Okay.
He did. But I'm excited right now because I wanted to see you work. You killed it. So when I came on Sunday, I'd be even more encouraged to talk about things with you, knowing that you're good.
Thank you. Now I'm going to bomb tonight in Ventura. That's how it works, dude.
Everyone bombs in Ventura.
You're complimenting me. I'm going to bomb tonight.
I'm sure. Let me know how it goes.
Let's talk a little sports here, Tug.
Transition.
NBA.
Yeah.
Last night I watched the Warrior Spurs.
I want to know who else watched this game. Because
did you watch any of this?
I didn't watch a second, and here's why.
It was like a D League game.
It's going to be a G League game, which we'll talk about in a second. But I agree. The tweet that we got from insiders saying no Kawhi, no LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, those were injury related.
Injury related, but still.
Yeah.
And then the rest situation from Golden State, which was no Seth Curry, no Klay Thompson.
No Draymond Green.
No Iguodala.
And Iguodala.
So that's 6 players. That's the 6 best players.
Minus Durant, who's hurt.
So that's 7 right there.
Yeah.
So the 7 best players that could potentially be in the game not playing.
Did not play.
So
on prime time.
I'd love to know the ratings. I'd love to know if ESPN or ABC in this case did anything to sort of coax these guys. Popovich, who's known for resting players, Kerr not so much.
Yeah. What do you think of resting players, by the way?
I'm against it. I'm against it because of the business side. I mean, I feel like Kornheiser talks about this on PTI sometimes, especially resting players on away games, where the team that's the home team is seeing that other team the only time of the year. Like if Cleveland goes to the Lakers and he sits out, that's the only time the Lakers fans get to see LeBron the whole year. I feel like they should not do that.
So
Rest them at home. Rest them at home where season ticket holders have 80 other chances to see this guy play.
Do you think it's more about the fans?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you know this. Your business is built on the support of your fans. I mean, I feel like without the fans, NBA is garbage.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's weird. I have mixed thoughts on this because, one, I don't want to go like all old school. Oh, they used to never rest the players, and you're making millions of dollars. It's no different than if you show up to the set for a TV show or a movie. You're not just going to say, well, I'm not working today and getting paid because those guys are still getting paid. So I understand that, but I also think it boils down to and I'll say it again, I always say it, the pussification of America. These guys are pussies now. Like, if they could do it, but things also change, though, too. Like, I don't work. My dad started working at, like, basically 13, 14. And basically just now retired. I mean, obviously he went to school and did all that. But my point is, people were just tougher back then. So we're gradually just turning into pussies. I don't even know where the world is going to be in 100 years. Does that make any sense?
Makes total sense. I think the pussification of America, which you've now coined.
Pussification of the world at this
point.
point.
World, which I'm sure will be on some T-shirts coming up.
Yeah.
But I think I agree, but especially when these guys are making the type of money that they're making. I mean, your dad, my dad, if they didn't work, they don't get paid. I mean, these guys are still making their money.
You know what my dad taught me? Here's a great Walt Rutherism.
I live for Walt Rutherisms.
Walt Rutherisms, I mean, they're phenomenal. I got so fucked up one time in college. I went to date typical frat white kid. Went to a Dave Matthews concert.
Oh my God.
Got hammered. Got in at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I worked for a moving company that summer in college. I didn't want to get up. My dad physically pulled me out of bed. At one point, threw water on me. He never cared about the drinking. He never lectured me about any of that stuff, the partying. But what he said to me was, I don't care how much you have to drink. You don't miss work. But I thought that was a great lesson because he was just saying, do all you want. Party, go hang out with girls, do what you want. Show up to work the next day.
How much of this, to spin it back to NBA, is related to the fact that we're dealing with maybe 4, maybe 5 teams that can win the championship.
Yeah.
So they're basically making chess moves against one another.
Agreed.
So Warriors know maybe we don't show all of our players against San Antonio because we're going to see them again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of strategy involved. I guess what my point is, how much is this the players saying, listen, I don't want to play tonight, or is it the coaches saying this is strategic long-term play?
No, I think it's a good point. I think it's both. I mean, like you said, Popovich was the first guy to start doing this.
Yeah.
And look at the success he's had. I'm not going to question what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, didn't Jordan, I think Jordan when he was 40 played with the Wizards. He played all 82 games. So somewhere between 2002 and 2017, the landscape of the NBA has changed with regards to how you play your players.
But to me, it's the competitor. Like, I mean, I would never have a night, I don't know, I shouldn't say, I don't know, I'm not a pro player, where I just don't want to play. Like I'm watching, the camera's panning over to Curry, right? And it's panning over to Draymond Green and all that.
Is it filled? Is Oracle filled for this game, or do people?
This was in San Antonio.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. So in San Antonio, was it full? I mean,
yeah, it was full.
Because it was a blowout too, right?
It was a blowout.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, revealed a lot to me. The Spurs are way deeper. The Spurs are, which I think we already knew. The Spurs bench is way deeper than the Warriors. I think the Warriors are in some trouble right now, which I didn't foresee.
3 in a row. They've lost.
Is it 3 in a row?
I think maybe 5 of 7 or something.
Is it that? Yeah.
Yeah.
2 out of 2 or 2 and 4, 2 and 5. Yeah, they're on a shitty streak right now.
In previous episodes, did you mention the impact of Bogut before he blew out his leg in the first minute of?
We did. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
But did you think that was a big deal? I think that he's the reason they lost the championship last year. He got hurt in 3-1.
I completely disagree.
You completely disagree with that?
100% disagree.
Okay, tell me why.
You know, he's not. He's an oaf. He's like an oaf.
He's a great passing oaf.
Oh, get the fuck out. He's a white guy from Australia. If you think that Andrew Bogut, a 7-foot white guy from Australia, is going to make that big of a difference, then why isn't he playing at the end of those games? Because he was never playing in the fourth quarter in any of those games.
Maybe because I don't know the answer to that.
Because he's not. But my point is, they overuse this. Oh, he's a big body. He's a big body. I get that, but. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, all I see is a 7-foot white guy from Australia.
Didn't LeBron start going to the rim as soon as he was out? I mean, who was the backup? Spates? He's never stepped inside the three-point line in his entire career, offense or defense.
Look, I'm not saying it doesn't help to have a banger and the guy to, quote-unquote, do the hard fouls, but I think people overvalue that is what I'm saying.
Well, aren't people saying right now that Durant, his absence is being felt as much on defense as is on offense, because he's the length of their group.
No, that's a good point.
When you're relying on Durant to be your major defender, I think you got serious problems. I mean, what do you got? Jaja Pachulia, in my honor of Stephen A. Smith, or
that's your Stephen A.
It's terrible.
That's your Stephen A.
Tug Coker. Slava Medvedev.
That's your Stephen A. Smith. The Dirtballs are like, these are 2 awful impersonations. Where's Praino? Get back from Costa Rica.
He does the impressions.
He does all the impressions.
He's the Caliendo of the group.
Yeah, except funnier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
I will shoot those shots right in your face, Frank Caliendo.
So, anyway, my issue with Golden State is where was the change from being like the teen heartthrob of America to a team that everyone's borderline over with?
No, of course, because Durant went there.
Only because of Durant, but
they're the bad guys now.
What about Iguodala's comments from the other night? What about
the slave comments?
Yeah, that comment was sort of,
We don't know. We don't know.
I agree, but I'm just saying there seems to be something bubbling underneath the surface at Golden State that doesn't
Miami, the Heat went through this shit. Golden State's going through it.
Yeah, but Miami did this before they won. Golden State's already won.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So I don't know. I just feel like I like Golden State. I love watching them play. I love Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's something, and I want them to win it all, especially for Durant. But
you want Golden State to win it all?
I do. I'm rooting for them.
You're rooting for Golden State.
Well, my number one team is Boston.
Sure.
I think I would obviously root for Boston over any other team, but I don't think they're going to get past Cleveland this year.
I think you need to start another new play. You need to play Kevin Durant. Tug Coker, the versatile actor. First he played Larry Bird. Now he's a 7-foot black man, Kevin Durant.
I just take photos and wear the official photography bib.
We could, because blackface would be too offensive.
It's way too offensive.
Right?
I'm never doing that.
You would never do blackface?
No. Even if I was playing Magic Johnson in Magic Bird, I wouldn't do
How
that.
much money, though? At a certain point, you do blackface. I'm just saying, you do. We all have our price.
How much did C. Thomas Howell get paid in that movie in the in the 80s? Because that's what I'm.
What was that movie called?
I forget.
Soul Man. Thank you. Soul Man. Yeah. Classic. James Earl Jones.
What are some?
Was that Harvard where he went? Soul Man. By the way, dirtballs. If you have not seen Soul Man, go on, I don't know what, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, rent Soul Man, see Thomas Howell, arguably the greatest acting ever.
What are some other terrible moments in blackface? I think, wasn't there a Ted Danson, Whoopi Goldberg moment that pre-internet that just kind of rocked the world?
When they were dating?
Yeah.
I think he was doing a roast, and he showed up in blackface.
Yeah, so I don't know what he got paid, but that's not enough.
That'd be a great segment. Terrible moments in blackface. Coming in at number 5, Ted Danson with dreadlocks, acting like Whoopi Goldberg. Not a smart move.
Oh, my God, yeah. So, no, there's no amount of money. I mean, no.
No amount of money.
Next question.
Okay. I want to talk about LaMarcus Aldridge for a minute because he's out. This is some serious shit.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Now,
is it pronounced heart arrhythmia?
Yeah, that's right. That's a correct pronunciation. Great job.
For the first time ever, I have correctly pronounced the word.
Well, I saw you getting some beef on Twitter for the Ciara pronunciation.
Well, see, I'll accept that beef.
Yeah.
That was a black fan correcting me. I will accept when a black listener says, "Dude, you're pronouncing Ciara incorrectly." But when some 15-year-old white kid from Vermont's actually it's correct, that gets under my skin for some reason. Basically, I hate 15-year-old white kids.
No,
that's what
I was going to. But arrhythmia is, as far as I understand.
But he's out indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean this brings back.
This is your heart. We're not talking about, that he broke a leg or sprained an ankle. This is some serious shit here.
Yeah, this hits close to home for a couple reasons. One, this isn't for the 15-year-olds listening, but we all remember Reggie Lewis.
Yeah.
From the Celtics, who died.
Passed away,
on the court, basically, from heart problems. Hank Gathers, Loyola Marymount, tragic moment in the
1990.
Yeah, they went on to blow out my Michigan Wolverines in the second round of the tournament. They scored
that game,
it hung 140 or something.
That game, see, that's my first March Madness ever.
Yeah,
I wrote a blog about it because I'm a basic white girl.
Wait, you wrote about it not in real time, not during.
No.
Because the internet doesn't exist.
I wasn't an 8-year-old writing a blog about it.
Al Gore.
Yeah. So I wrote a recent blog about my first March Madness.
1990.
And because my dad went to Xavier, and Xavier made it to the Sweet 16, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I remember that whole March Madness, and I remember that Michigan Loyola Marymount game was it was 150 to 128.
And Michigan was defending champs that year.
That's right.
I mean, the year before, Glenn Rice and Loy Vaught and Terry Mills. I love that team so much. 1989, I remember it like it was yesterday because I was 10, and I went to overtime. The championship game went to overtime. My mom said I had to go to bed.
Seton Hall, right?
Seton Hall, that's right. Ramil Robinson hit 2 free throws late, and I had to go to bed. My mom wouldn't let me watch it, so I had to wake up in the morning. And I saw Ramil Robinson on Good Morning America, and I knew he won. That was.
Your mom made you go to bed?
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
This might be the worst thing she's ever done.
I've never forgiven her for that.
My dad was the opposite. Xavier played in the Sweet 16, and it was a late game.
Yeah.
So on the East Coast, those games start at 10.
Yep.
I was in the second grade. He woke me up because I went to bed at 8, and he goes, "The game's starting," and he let me watch the game, and that was the first time I ever cried because of sports for my team when they lost.
Oh, mine is a couple years later with well, I think I cried probably another time in sports, but the one clearly stands out is the Weber timeout. It's so clear in my mind. The
Against North Carolina,
Eric Montross.
Where was that? In New Orleans?
Yep. Dante Calabria.
That's
I think
right.
Rick Fox was on that team.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Fab Five. That was pretty brutal.
I was rooting for Michigan so hard.
God, I love that team so much. But
I was call back, Tug. I was crazy hard for the Fab Five.
you love that documentary?
The one, the 30 for
Who do
30?
you side with, Chris Webber or Jalen Rose? There's a big beef.
Yeah. I watched it. I'm trying to remember. What? Just fill me back in on it. I haven't. What was it? Came out a few years ago.
Yeah, basically, I mean, what I'm getting is, the other four guys aside from Chris Webber have all dropped any issues with that experience with Chris Webber taking some money. We had to lose some banners and things like that. And when Michigan was in the finals a couple of years, and I went to the Final Four in Atlanta, they all showed up except for Webber.
Oh, yeah.
And they pleaded with him to come, and there's just some sort of internal issue with those guys. And I would love for Webber to come out at some point because
it's kind of like the Bob Knight thing that's going on.
This thing's is crazy.
You want to talk about this for a second?
Let's do it.
Bob Knight is on like some next level old crazy white man shit.
He is. If you look up old crazy white man in the dictionary, it's Bobby Knight.
Dude, but I find it so enjoyable. Does that make sense? like when you've crossed that, when you've gone from like epic coach but always crazy to like you're giving speeches at Donald Trump rallies, you're introducing Donald Trump, you're making these like insane statements. I find that so entertaining. But my point is like this is the problem with, in my opinion, with the country. People take like somebody like him seriously. You can't take him seriously.
No.
He went on Dan Patrick's show, and I don't have the clip because we're down here at the clubhouse, and I'm not doing the clips today. But he basically said on Dan Patrick's show on Friday, Dan Patrick was asking him if he could ever reconcile with Indiana, and he would go back and go back on campus, and they would honor him, all those things, blah blah blah. Bob Knight said, basically on his deathbed, he'll always remember how great the fans were, but he basically said, "Fuck you," to the.
He literally said, "I hope they're dead."
He said, "I
hope they're dead."
I hope they're dead to the administration.
Yeah. So, as far as like the crazy old white man thing, I read something else that he would. One of his players who became, I can't remember who it was, pleaded for him to come back to watch his number be put up in the rafters, and he pleaded on Facebook for Bobby Knight to come back. He didn't go back, and instead went to Purdue, the rival school, to a $25 chicken fundraiser to Purdue instead of going back to Bloomington to go on campus. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched that interview, but if you saw Dan Patrick, it's almost like Dan Patrick took no joy in that interview.
No, it's really rough. I have it right here.
Yeah.
This is what Bob Knight said. "Well, I think I've always really enjoyed the fans. On my dying day, I think about how great the fans at Indiana were. And as far as the hierarchy at Indiana University at that time."
What was that word?
How's it pronounced?
What was that word?
How's it pronounced? How's it
I
pronounced?
heard hierarchy.
Hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Is that like something when Jordan reigned?
There you go. There's your Rutherism today, guys. Hierarchy. Typical Rutherism. You complimented me earlier, and this is what I do. I completely ruin it. Okay, so back to what I was saying. On my dying day, by the way, I love coming down to the clubhouse because I have not just
we got
Joe,
a gallery.
but I have 3 people to be like,
Yeah.
"You completely butchered that word, you fucking idiot."
Hierarchy is pretty great, though. I think that's going to be used somewhere else.
Yeah. Now, again, if some black dude says you pronounce that wrong, no, he's like, "Yo, that's right. That's hierarchy, man." He's like, "Yo, he pronounced it right." Anyway, and as far as the hierarchy, is that right? Is that right? Hierarchy at Indiana University at the time, I have absolutely no respect whatsoever for those people. With that in mind, I have no interest in ever going back. So then you're right. So then Dan Patrick says, "Aren't those people out of there, coach?" Great question. Knight responds, "I hope they're all dead."
He literally says, and he says something else. He goes,
and then Patrick says, "Well, some of them are." And Bob Knight responds, Well, I hope the rest of them go.
I mean, don't you make a trailer out of that, like with a movie with those lines? That's like those are like action hero lines.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
I hope they're all dead.
By the way, you know what I love? You want to hear something funny? You're talking about an action movie. You know, when ESPN before 30 for 30, ESPN did some like awful scripted movies. Did you ever see any of these? They did one on Bobby Knight. I want to say like
who played Bobby Knight?
Brian Dennehy.
I do remember this. That's right.
So Brian Dennehy plays Bobby Knight, and it's again, this is before 30 for 30. They just had some awful scripted movies. But here's the best part. I used to work at a hotel. One of my first jobs out here at Hotel Oceana, I was a bellhop, and I had to check out Brian Dennehy. So I go to his room, and I had a flight to somebody, whoever's assistant. Somebody came. I had to hand him his flight ticket, right? And it was expensive as shit too, because it was like a last minute flight back to Boston for like $1,000.
You're looking at all this stuff?
Yeah,
You're amazing.
Well, I'm just they handed it to me, so good. So I'm checking out.
Looking at Social Security too. You're like, what else are you checking out? Jesus.
So I'm checking Brian Dennehy out of the hotel, and he's like, he's a really nice guy, and he's like, what's your story? I'm like, I just moved here, and he's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to make it in comedy. And dude, imagine not that he was, but like even 10 years ago. You had known him from stuff. And,
absolutely.
Obviously what did I know him for mostly? Rambo? Like, was he in Rambo, right? Yeah, so, like, you know him from stuff. So, anyway, the first thing Brian Dennehy says to me, my first week on the job, is he goes, oh, you moved here for the entertainment business? He goes, don't do it. It sucks.
Yep. Was that a welcome to LA moment for you? Yeah.
Just like, and I'm like, carrying his luggage, he's like, it's the worst business ever.
Yeah. You're so naive at this point. You're like excited to be here, full of passion. Brian Dennehy comes and just crushes it.
Which maybe he was getting into character for his Bob Knight.
He was doing
job.
Bobby Knight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bobby Knight is amazing. Well, let me say, for those of you who watch now, we're talking. It's about two guys who leave sports and try to get into the sports broadcasting world. So I watch a lot of sports because I enjoy imagining what the world of sports media is.
Yeah.
And Bobby Knight left Indiana, went to Texas Tech, then left to become a broadcaster
at ESPN.
Yeah, and he was not. He was bad.
He was angry.
He was not. It's like he didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't know any of the players' names.
Yeah.
He just called tall guy and brown hair. So it was a bummer to see that. But people talk about. I was reading an article that Frank DeFord wrote back in '81. Apparently, this is one of the best Sports Illustrated articles of all time. And he just talks about then how stubborn Bobby Knight was, and he always sweated the small stuff. Like if you jaded him in any way, he never forgave you.
Yeah,
and
that's not good.
It's so unhealthy. I feel like. I mean, he won 3 titles in like 10 years.
Yeah, and he did good at Texas Tech.
He did well at Texas Tech.
I'm saying he turned. They're not a basketball program. Actually, I just remembered another Bobby Knight story. I was in St. Louis, and I was at like one of those like early season tournaments. They do those like early season tournaments. And whatever it was a bunch of big teams. And he had just called the game prior to that. And my buddy had baller seats for us. And then we go sit down. Bob Knight calls the first game. Then he comes and he sits down in our row to watch the second game with his wife. I'm 2 seats away from Bob Knight. And he's the most intimidating figure. You're 2 seats away from Bob Knight, and I think it was Kansas. It was Kansas, Memphis. We were watching at the time, 2 like great ranked teams, and I remember I so wanted to ask him for a picture because he's Bob Knight, but I didn't, and I'm never one to shy away from asking somebody for a picture. But he was just sitting there watching the game, so grouchy, and no one asked him for a picture, and I'm like. Everyone can just feel that energy from him. If I ask him for a picture, is he going to, like, headbutt me and throw me onto the court?
Yeah, when you think about, his pedigree, right? He went to Army.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe he coached at Army.
He coached at West Point.
Went to Ohio State. Played with Havlicek, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Coached at Army. He's 6'5".
Yeah, big guy.
He's already, he was gray hair at like 28, so he's got that problem going. You know what I mean? The salt and pepper thing really bothered him, sure. and then he basically invented an offense, the motion offense that every kid knows when you're playing like 10 and under, at the YMCA.
Well, let's not forget, Bob Knight was such an asshole. Larry Bird went to Indiana
and
then
transferred after 40 days
to Indiana State.
Yeah. No, not only that, he left Indiana to go back and be a garbage man.
That's
for the year. He hated Bob Knight so much. He's like, I'm going to be a garbage man in French Lick, Indiana for a year, and then I'm going to go to Indiana State and make that great because I can't stand you.
That totally sums it up. Larry Bird, one of the greatest players ever, would have rather been a garbage man in French Lick, Indiana than play for Bobby Knight.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, Bobby Knight's legacy, I think in 100 years, I'm interested to know if it's like Johnny Appleseed, where he's like this mythological figure. Because
going deep on us.
Well, here's the thing.
Johnny Appleseed?
Well, here's the thing. Or Paul Bunyan.
No,
you know what I mean?
What am I, back in grade school? What are we talking about here?
I'm talking about legends of the game.
Yeah.
He's famous. McEnroe is still a beloved figure for being this, man baby.
Insane tennis player.
Insane tennis player, but, you cannot be serious. All these antics.
Yeah.
Bob Knight is known for, like, throwing the chair across an actual game when guys about to shoot a free throw.
Headbutting his own kid.
Yeah, so
during a game.
Will we ever soften on that and be like, that guy was crazy, but he was fun.
Yeah.
Like the John McEnroe seems to have. I'm
yeah,
just curious
I think you make a good point.
Yeah.
Is that, like, I'm laughing and he entertains me, but there's no, like, John McEnroe I could go out in the town with.
Absolutely.
Bob Knight, no way.
I agree. I just don't know where it's going to end up with him. But that interview was so full of venom.
Yeah.
Like, to even see Dan Patrick be like, not take the bait, not laugh at anything. He was sort of like, I need to keep this guy under wraps because I know he's an NRA supporter.
He left Indiana, or he was fired 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Guys, just let it die down.
And he also said they made him fire him. He was like, I'm not. Even though there was videotape of him hitting Neil Reed. He's like, I'm not leaving. Like, you guys got to do this to me.
Yeah.
And he's held that on his shoulder for
you know
the
what
rest
we
of his
need?
life.
There's that. I love Dave Chappelle. Like, his show to me, I can basically recite the first 2 seasons of Chappelle's show. There's that sketch. I don't know if you've ever seen that sketch where it's Nelson Mandela's boot camp.
I don't recall.
Basically, the troubled kids go to Nelson Mandela's boot camp, and it's so funny because Nelson Mandela's like kicking their ass. I would like to see a reality TV show of like troubled kids, Bob Knight's boot camp.
Oh, yeah.
Like, can you imagine that?
Oh my God.
Like the kid, he's messing around on his phone, and Bob Knight just comes from behind and just decks him with a chair.
Well, you know how like a popular joke in Hollywood is for grown adults to play sports with kids and block them. You see it in Sports Center commercials. You see it in Rushmore.
Yeah.
That's all funny. When Bobby Knight does it, like it's like a horror movie. You become scared for the kids.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah.
Let's move on from Bob Knight.
Can I ask you a quick aside?
What's up?
Dave Chappelle related. Do you? This is comedy related too. Did you go to the Neil Brennan shows at the West Side Comedy?
I've gone a couple times.
Is it great or is?
Yeah, well, Neil's gone a lot because Neil's in New York a lot.
Yeah.
So it's listed as Neil Brennan and Friends every Tuesday.
Yeah. And
he gets a lot of big names, of course, but I haven't gone for a long time.
I hear his Netflix stand-up is awesome.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so anyway, I want to go to that show. After going to see your show, I was like,
dude, that's a great room. You should go. I like West Side Comedy Theater. I like most comics. We like small rooms.
Yeah.
I do crowd work. I want to be able to see people, excluding you, who's like hovering in the corner next to that group of lesbians, which was pretty funny, right?
They were good laughers.
They were great.
They were really.
And I was worried about some of my gay material because it's newer.
Yeah.
But I just think, no offense to the comics before me, they weren't laughing at some gay jokes. I just think they weren't good jokes.
I heard a couple so trues.
Oh yeah,
from them. So you were hitting the sweet spot with them.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's my next move. I booked a show in West Hollywood next month where I'm on a show and then we're followed by a drag show.
Yeah.
Because I have all this experience of being around gay guys for like nonstop for a year from my last job that I need avenues to talk about this. Because like if I talk about my experience in going to gay nightclubs all the time and like going to drag shows and all. If I talk about this in Cleveland, Ohio, they're just gonna be like queer. Like I need to be able to talk about it to like the LGBT community who's gonna laugh and get it.
Well, I think some of your secret sauce as a comedian, and then we'll move back to sports, is that you kind of have this thing where it's like I'm a fratty pro LGBT thing. Like I'm everyone's in. Like I'm going to make fun of you, but I also love you, and people feel that. So anyway, we're getting a little soft
Tug.
here.
You should be my publicist.
I should be.
You should be my publicist.
Should be.
Let's talk NFL because there's a shit ton of stuff going on, and I mean a lot.
Tons of stuff.
Where do we start? I put
I know we got to start with the Patriots. I mean, they are going for it right now.
Because of the Brandon Cooks trade?
Cooks trade. They brought in Dwayne Allen. They basically said, Martellus, you're out of here. Dwayne Allen, who had a 3-touchdown night against the Giants. I think it was the Giants.
Dwayne Allen from the Colts.
Dwayne Allen from the Colts got traded to New England. They also bring in Gilmore, who no one really knows who cornerbacks are, let's be honest.
Wait, so you're a big Pats fan?
I'm not. But what I'm saying is
Who's your team?
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh, I forgot. You suck. Wait, you're everything we hate. You're a Michigan?
I know. We talked about this before.
I know we did. I'm going to talk about it again. You're a Michigan basketball fan,
yes,
a Boston Celtics,
yes.
NBA fan, and a Cowboys.
I defend this. I'm going to get crushed on this. But,
as you should. Dirtballs tweeted him at Tug Coker.
Yeah. So I moved around a lot when I was young.
That's right.
And my dad's family is from Boston. And so the first thing I remember in the 80s, he taught me about Larry Bird.
Yeah.
So I loved, because I went to Boston a few times. My mom is from Oklahoma, and the only team that they loved was the Cowboys. So I got a Cowboys helmet when I was 5. And we're in the 80s, people forget that the 90s, yes, we were awesome.
They sucked.
In the 80s, it's like Danny White.
Yeah.
Was our quarterback. My favorite player, Tony Dorsett. Steve Pallure. Anybody remember this guy?
Yeah.
Like, we weren't good. So I jumped on, I thought, at the right time. And then when I was 5, I moved to Michigan to be with my dad. Went to grad school, so I started loving Anthony Carter and Harbaugh and all these guys. And I just so it sounds bad. I get it. I have to explain it every time, and people still don't let me off the hook.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
Cool.
No, I totally suck.
It is what it is.
It is.
So the Patriots, you think, hands down, the favorites right now?
They've done nothing but get better.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it's insane. I mean, again, I don't know anything about this Gilmore guy from Buffalo, the cornerback, but he said he's the best guy on the market.
But I don't even give a shit about him. My thing is this. You gave Tom Brady, who came off a phenomenal year, you just gave him a guy who's had back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons with Brandon Cooks.
Oh, yeah, Cooks. The one thing I'm interested about that is, are Cooks and Edelman going to play the same position? Is with Amendola, Cooks, Edelman. Amendola, sorry, guys.
That's not as good as hierarchy. Hierarchy.
Amendola?
Amendola.
Okay, thank you. Amendola.
He likes to party, by the way.
He does?
Oh, yeah. I think I banged a Tinder chick who had also banged him. I'm pretty sure, like within the same week.
That's a great connection right there.
Yeah, because she had.
Is that on her Tinder page? Banged Amendola, banged
I was
Andy
messing
Ruther?
with her at the time. She had been partying. She's like, this is after we had already been sleeping together. We're laying in her bed after hooking up that day, and she's like, you're a big sports guy. Like, I was hanging out with these guys in the Patriots. Me and my friend, and her friend's like one of these just like shows her tits and ass in like every picture on Instagram. She's like, me and my friend, these guys were insane. They were tripping their balls off on fucking shrooms. She's like, these 2 wide receivers for the Patriots. And I was like, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola. She's like, yeah, we were with them. And I literally looked at her. I go, did you fuck one of them? And not that I would have cared, whatever. I'll take a good receiver's leftovers. And she's like, no. And I'm thinking the whole time, yeah, you totally did.
Yeah. Which one was the worst player? Because that was mine.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, back to whatever the hell we were talking about.
Well, what is it? Quick divergent path here, but all the white receivers. Remember when Wes Welker went and had a ton of winnings at the Derby?
Yeah.
And wasn't he on like?
He was on Molly.
He was on Molly.
Yeah.
I mean, white receivers get after it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that's about.
Right. As they should, though.
They totally should.
If you've made it in the NFL as a wide receiver,
yeah,
feel free to do as much psychedelic drugs as you can.
Exactly. The window is closing. Look.
They're good.
Patriots are great.
They're great.
And here's my thing. Why do GMs, I don't even know who the GM of the Patriots is, but if the Patriots are calling you.
I think it's Belichick.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Why are you taking that phone call? Like, don't you just get off the phone and be like, okay, what do they want? Why are we being fleeced? I feel like they win every free agent move with the exception of Michael Floyd, which I think he didn't even play in the Super Bowl.
He didn't even dress.
Yeah, he didn't even dress.
What's it to them? They pick him up.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is they always find a way to take it to get the edge. So
they're brilliant. They're smart. Now let's talk about a team that has always found a way to completely botch it. The Cleveland Browns. I really want to get into this because there's so many people, Tug, writers and fans and analysts who are like, this is a great move. This is a great move. They added a second-round pick. I do not see how them paying $16 million for Brock Osweiler is a smart move. And everyone says, that they had to spend. Are you familiar with how this works?
Yes, and
it's kind of confusing.
Yes, it is confusing.
So in the NFL, for the dirtballs who don't understand this, I had to look all this shit up too. The NFL forces you to spend a certain amount of money of the cap. So let's say the cap's $100 million,
right.
which it might be around there.
I think he is around there.
I think it's $100 million.
Yeah.
The NFL says you have to spend 89% of that, which I like. They're basically saying you can't be a cheapskate.
Yep.
So they want parity and they want teams to be competitive. So basically they're saying you have to spend $89 million to fulfill that salary cap. So part of what them doing to trade for Brock Osweiler was we're going to eat this $16 million and we're probably going to drop him.
Yeah.
We're literally going to pay a guy $16 million not to play,
Yeah.
but we're also going to get a second-round pick out of it. And everyone's acting like this is a brilliant move. Here's a better idea. How about getting players overpaying good players?
Everyone else is doing it. I mean, speaking of overplaying, Chicago Bears. We'll hop back to Cleveland, but I looked at who they're picking up. They picked up Mike Glennon. Let's say goodbye to Cutler. They brought in Deion Sims, who's a tight end I've never heard of, for 3 years, $18 million. I have no idea. They brought in everyone's fantasy player they hope is great but never is, Marcus Wheaton.
Yeah.
From the Steelers.
That's
they brought
right.
him in. So I don't. I mean, we'll go back to Cleveland, but I want to give John Fox the benefit of the doubt of being any good, because he took the Panthers and the Broncos to the Super Bowl, but I have no idea what's going on right now with Chicago. Cleveland, I'm curious about, because maybe you want to try. Maybe it's just the system with Osweiler. He showed some flashes in Denver, and
flashes of sucking. Am I right, guys? Am I right? He sucked.
that was the kind of material that we were seeing at the West Side Theater on Thursday.
Oh,
it was unbelievable,
it's all
guys.
coming out now. You said you weren't going to shit on the other comics.
I'm talking about your set, brother. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was great. Cleveland. What who knows what they're doing?
But let me just break down the trade real quick. Cleveland gets Osweiler, a 2017 6th-round pick, a 2018 2nd-round pick. Houston receives a 2017 4th-round pick and $10 million in cap savings.
That's just a setup for the Texans to get Romo, right?
Exactly. But what everyone's trying to say is, so there's more to this. So basically, the guys who took over in Cleveland are Moneyball guys.
Yep. I think they're baseball guys, literally.
They are.
Right?
They're
Brian
baseball
Podesta,
guys.
I want to say.
It's Podesto.
Yeah. Podesta. Is that another correction?
Wait, what
I think
did
I said Podesta. Is it Podesto?
Yeah, Podesto, one of them. I'm not trying to correct you. But so he comes over from the baseball Moneyball side, and they're, in my opinion, trying to outthink it. And this is the piece that I read on Deadspin, which I thought was interesting, which is basically saying what the Browns are trying to do, or what they are doing, not trying to do, is stockpile draft picks, right?
Yeah.
So they have so many draft picks the next couple years, right? So basically what they're trying to do is use those draft picks to completely rebuild. Now, we've seen the Sixers do this in basketball as well, but here's the problem. If you read this article, it makes some great points. You're not guaranteed that those players are going to be good. You know what I'm saying?
I think we've seen that with Cleveland. If you look at their 2011-12 draft, I don't think there's one player on their 2011-2012 draft still on their team.
Yeah, so that's the point. It's a crapshoot. No one knows.
No one knows.
You're drafting a player. You hope they're good in any sport. So basically, this article is stating it makes sense. So Cleveland has 11 picks in this year's and next year's drafts. So this year, they have 5 of the first 65. That's a shit ton.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But the problem is you got to get the right player. And people have tried this and they failed, and they've talked about the Jets tried this and they failed. Now, teams like the Patriots, it always works out for.
I was thinking about this when we wanted to talk about free agency. How many, this is all great. This is fun for NFL fans to have something to do in the offseason. But how many of these free agents make a difference? I went ahead and looked up the best free agents of all time, and if they're not, Drew Brees just comes up as number one.
Yeah.
Wins a Super Bowl.
Sure.
Peyton wins a Super Bowl. Who's impacting the game? It's all quarterbacks or Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders did 1 year in San Francisco, won a Super Bowl, went to Dallas the next year, wins a Super Bowl. And the other one that comes to mind is Reggie White for the Packers.
It's a good point. Yeah.
But I don't see a lot of these guys really even meaning that much to any teams. I mean, rarely do these guys have impact.
But let's talk about recently. Josh Norman goes to the Redskins.
Terrible.
They actually lost more games this year. I'm not, and it's obviously football is a team sport of all the sports. It's a total team sport.
He's a great story too.
But my point is, you're right.
Yeah.
How much is one? You have 11 guys on the field for your team at any given time. How much is that one player going to make that much of a difference if he's not a quarterback?
And you see this happen. You're going to Vegas on Wednesday.
Wednesday with Goldberg.
Yeah, you see this a lot of times. I love watching NFL lines from a fun perspective. So if players are out, like a key player, you'll see that Vegas will almost hardly ever move the line unless it's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll move the line. They'll move the line a little bit, and they sometimes feel like it's overvalued move.
Well, I'm stoked about Vegas. I'm going for March Madness, and I'm even more stoked because if you go to mybookie.ag, Tug, you like to do a little gambling during these March Madness games.
I'm pretty excited about it.
If you go to mybookie.ag and you put in promo code DIRTY, you get a 50% bonus with your first deposit. So I don't know how good you are at math, Tugs. I know a lot of the dirtballs aren't.
I'm pretty bad.
Okay. So if you deposited $100 on mybookie.ag and put in that promo code DIRTY, you get another $50.
Boom.
Boom.
I'm putting that $50 right on the hottest team in college, the Michigan Wolverines, to run the table. That's what I do with that money.
Okay. So you put that $50 on Michigan to run the table.
Let it ride.
That's an interesting choice. But dirtballs, as you guys know, Matty Goldberg and myself are going to Vegas. We're going to be gambling. And you guys, a lot of you guys obviously are not going to be in Vegas, but this is the way you can gamble. MyBookie.ag, he's our correspondent for MyBookie.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be posting his lines and his picks every day from the casinos of Vegas. So he'll be giving you guys tips to win. So make sure you go to MyBookie.ag, enter promo code DIRTY. Or if you want to use a phone, they take phone bets. You can visit by going 844-900-BETS. Play, win, and get paid. Again, that's mybookie.ag, and I am stoked because, no joke, my favorite part of March Madness is putting money on games.
That's your favorite part.
It is.
I agree. It's everyone's favorite part. Everyone loves that.
That's why I'm going to Vegas. I'm stoked.
No, we won't get too far into this because you'll be talking about it on Wednesday, but I've never done the March Madness trip, and I don't do it because I hear it's crazy packed.
It's insane.
Crazy dude packed.
It's the busiest time of the year for Las Vegas. It's not. Here's how I describe it. It's not your typical. I lived in Vegas for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not your typical Vegas trip. It's not we're going to go to the pool, get drunk, try to get laid, go to the nightclub. No.
You're in the book 24/7.
It's dudes sitting on couches like we are now. You get bed sores because you've been sitting there all fucking day just watching games. And I'm going to be bringing, as Joe Praino would say, copious amounts of marijuana.
Yeah.
So just sit there and just get
help with those bed sores.
Yeah, really help with those bed sores. But it's crazy. We're going to South Point.
Yep.
And what they do is my buddy recommends it. What they do is they turn like a ballroom into their now most places have their sports book. They turn a massive ballroom into they bring down screens. This is so funny. You have to use your room key to get in. It's all free booze, free food. They have massage tables set up. My buddy sent me a video from last year.
Incredible.
Dudes are like getting back rubs as their face is like looking up watching the game.
They should put monitors below the table.
Yeah,
so
they should.
You're right through the hole,
Yeah.
and then you just don't ever have to raise your your
I
head
wonder
at
if that
all.
includes a happy ending.
Not in public.
Yeah.
But maybe for you.
It's Vegas, man. Anything goes.
Are you driving or flying?
We're driving.
I did the drive in January. I went to watch the Cowboys play the Packers in the division championship. I don't know where it was in the NFC, but went to the Las Vegas. It's the Westgate now. It used to be the Hilton, and they used to do a major screening.
Thursday was huge at the Hilton.
Oh yeah,
They used to have the best sports book.
It was still great. They revamped it. It was awesome. I loved it. So I'll definitely be hitting that site up because I won't be able to make it.
Yeah, man. MyBookie.ag.
Yeah, interesting.
Get that extra money, and your wife she'll be happy about that.
Yeah, she likes when I come home with money because it's usually not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you this: circle back to football. You're an adopted Rams fan, right? I mean, I know you're a Cincinnati boy, but you left to become a Rams fan. Is that
Actually,
correct?
technically, I rescued the Rams.
Oh, it's a rescue.
I didn't adopt them. I rescued them.
That was a great joke. That was a good joke the other night.
Thank you.
How to kill? Did you do it last night? Did it do well?
I feel like we're just dissecting my sets. Yeah, it's hit or miss.
I thought it was a really good joke.
Thanks, man.
So let me ask you this: are you watching the competitors of the Rams in free agency to see what they're doing to upgrade.
I'll be honest, man. Praino's called me out, and deservingly so. I am like half-assing it on the Rams train.
This sounds right.
Like, it's funny. They signed Andrew Whitworth, who was a Bengal,
Former Bengal, yeah.
but good. But he's also 35.
Yep.
I'm just like, I don't know, man. This is, I feel like since Dirty Sports started, I have my teams. Like, I'm diehard Xavier. I watch them all a ton this year through the Big East tournament.
If you had to guess, what kind of seed are they going to get? We'll
Xavier?
Yeah.
Between 10 to 12.
Okay. Maybe a playing game even.
No, I don't think they deserve. They lost Edmund Sumner, their starting point guard, and they'll take that into consideration. They lost him halfway through the season.
And so, who else we got? Xavier, who else is your diehards? Teams.
Reds.
Yep, of course.
And then that's basically it. And then if St. Louis basketball, we just suck so bad. We've sucked recently. But
you jumped off the Bengals at the right time because what they're doing in free agency is terrible. I mean, everyone's abandoning ship over there.
No, but I jumped off the Bengals a few years ago.
Yeah, now you're on the Rams. My point is I watch the NFC East very closely. And,
Yeah.
there's some big moves, obviously, with Brandon Marshall going to the Giants, which
Sure.
I'm sure Praino is excited about. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we have Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith going to the Eagles. So
That's a big move.
yeah, I mean, I think
They're going to obviously get situated there at the wide receiver position. But how good are those guys, though, really?
that's what I'm getting at. Torrey Smith went to my high school.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and he's apparently, by all accounts, a great dude. The bad news is he had like 275 yards last year with the Niners. So I don't know if it's just the system.
But that's my point. He had some good years with the Ravens.
Yeah. I think he's just like, isn't he just like a deep threat guy? Like
Yeah,
a
he's
fly
fast as
pattern?
shit.
Yeah. So
But even same thing for Alshon Jeffrey. Remember he got that mega deal
he never plays.
in Chicago.
He doesn't play enough.
Yeah.
He's always hurt.
So what are those two? Those guys aren't like, they're not stud number ones.
Will Marshall help Odell or no?
Oh, you're talking about the Giants now?
No, let me switch over to that.
Yeah. They'll help each other.
Yeah, they'll help each other. So if I have, this is a fantasy question, if I have Odell in a keeper league, I should be excited about the Brandon Marshall move. He's going to eat up TDs, right?
I think they're going to complement each other. I think the Giants are looking pretty good. As much as I hate to say that because of Praino and his stupid Giants boner, crazy hard right now. Crazy hard.
Well, the last team, because the Cowboys are really standing pat at the moment, but the Redskins are a debacle. I mean, I don't know if you guys talked about this, the poor GM situation for one.
He got fired.
Yeah, because someone leaked information about him having an alcohol problem.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then people are, Deshaun went to the.
Wouldn't you have an alcohol problem if you were working under Dan Schneider?
Oh my God!
I mean, talk about an asshole.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And Terrell Pryor goes from Cleveland to what he thinks is a better team, and everyone's left that. So I'm thinking for less money, 1 year, $8 million to Washington.
But even Terrell Pryor, look, here's what Terrell Pryor is. He's an athletic dude.
Yeah.
Very athletic.
Yeah.
But like he has one good season in Cleveland, and I mean, I don't know. It's like a flash in a pan sort of thing, in my opinion.
This circles back to my whole point of like how many of these people actually impact the game.
But that's a great point,
yeah.
and I completely agree with you.
Is that the point of the episode so far?
Well, no. We have the main point of the episode at this point is that I can't pronounce hierarchy or hierarchy. That's the main point. But no, the fact that unless they're quarterbacks, I mean, we named a few, like you said, Dion, and we said,
Reggie White.
Going to the Packers.
Yeah, I can't think of who else came. I mean, that's the problem. Can't think of anybody that really came.
But like, who's? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're forgetting somebody.
Well, Curtis Martin is another one they mentioned, but he never won a title. He came from the Patriots.
And I'm sure
to
you
the
guys
Jets.
can go to dirtysports.com.
Yeah.
And the Dirtballs, oh my God, how did fucking Tug and Ruther? I can't believe they forgot, blah, 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 and then they'll fucking.
Non-quarterbacks, that's what we're asking for. Because we all know quarterbacks can impact the NFL.
Yeah.
What are some non-quarterback players that impacted the game?
Randy Moss to the Patriots.
Didn't win a title, though. So, I mean, yes, they went, 19-1?
Breaking every record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would agree, Randy Moss was pretty special. But I can't think of anybody else, really.
It's tough, man. It's tough to think of.
What else we got?
Let's move in a little World Series not World Series.
Boy.
World Baseball Classic.
That's how important it is. No one really knows
but
the
I
name.
think it's interesting. Dude, here, I was watching the game the other night. I was watching the other game the other night on they were in Mexico. And it was Mexico wasn't even playing.
Right.
And it was I think it was Puerto Rico and Venezuela, or Puerto Rico, Colombia, one of those teams. Stadiums packed, the energy. Like, it looked really my point is, it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Because those Latin American countries and those Latin American people, they love their
This is
baseball.
their sport. Yeah.
And I think that's so cool. You know, it's just baseball and soccer. And I thought it was so cool to watch how into it the fans were. And it's weird. I was thinking about this today, too. You get the World Baseball Classic. It's obviously during spring training. It's also during March Madness. Like, it gets kind of lost in the mix because you have to do it during March Madness, which kind of sucks because it's got to play second fiddle.
Yeah. When does baseball really take over America? Basically October, right? And with good teams. I think that's part of the problem is that, you know, I don't even know. You said it earlier. You couldn't even name any of the players on the American team.
I know Adam Jones.
That's it.
I know.
I believe it. I mean, I think you know the Olympics. Obviously, every 4 years, people get up for it. So America is game for this.
Yeah.
They're just trying to figure out why it's not connecting.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, it's a timing thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't think we can. Like, I don't know how many of our good players actually our good players aren't, like, a lot of them aren't actually playing. But the story for me is that Israel has not lost a game.
4-0.
Israel.
Yeah.
Israel beat Cuba.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cuban players are fucking good.
Cuba owned us in the few years that we had baseball in the Olympics. I mean, destroyed us.
Cuba, I think, good baseball players. Team Israel, I think, good bagels. Like, I'm not thinking that they're going to play well.
I saw that before I came on here. I was pretty shocked. I mean, I was also shocked to see who some of the players that were on the team. Ike Davis, former Met, and a few other players. But,
on Team Israel?
On Team Israel, yeah.
Well, so Team Israel, it's a bunch of American players who basically, I'm assuming, dual citizenship through America and Israel.
Yeah, maybe a wife.
Yeah,
or something.
Because you can use these weird clauses
absolutely.
to play for a different country. Like, my cousin's brother's dad's husband is half Jewish, so I'm gonna play for Team Israel.
Yeah,
I don't know, but like, I want to make a push. Matty Goldberg should play for Team Israel.
I'm in. What position?
Ball boy.
That's a no-brainer.
But half his body doesn't work, so I don't even know if he could play ball boy. So I don't think that would work at all.
That's pretty sad.
It's really.
Let
sad.
me ask you this: if we move it to just after the World Series, does that change the fervor for the? We play it in warm weather states or anything like that. Does it change?
That's an interesting choice. So you would move it till after the World Series, then you're also competing against football still.
That's true.
So maybe playing the World Baseball Classic now is the best move.
February, maybe.
I was just gonna say move it to February.
February is the answer.
You know what? You're competing against March Madness.
Yeah, no, it's February. The week after the Super Bowl, you put it in that little 2-week spot.
Yeah,
it's kind of a dead zone for all sports. I think we just solved their problem.
I think we just figured it out. You move it to February, but I'm excited because the finals are going to be out here in LA. Going to be at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, you're definitely going.
I think I'm going to go.
Do you have any idea how this works? Right? Like, how does this tournament work?
Well, I should have done my homework, being that I'm hosting the show. But you know what? I really didn't. Basically, it's kind of like the World Cup. I know that much. They're in pool play right now.
Yeah, I got it.
So the U.S. tonight plays Canada, and they have to win. Which, ironic, guys, the U.S. is playing Canada, and it's on ESPN Deportes. That's an interesting move, ESPN. Canada versus USA, ESPN Deportes.
How is USA doing?
We're 1-1.
Okay.
We lost to the Dominican Republic yesterday in Miami. And again, did you watch? I don't know if you probably didn't see any highlights.
Fight, right? No, go ahead.
That was a different.
Oh, yeah.
The Dominican Republic, they basically had all the fans. The game's in Miami, which I think is awesome. Like, I want to go. I said this, even if the U.S. isn't in the finals, I want to go. And you know how I'm going to go, Tug Coker?
How you doing it?
SeatGeek. I don't know if you've used SeatGeek, but it is the #1 app for all live events. We're talking World Baseball Classic, March Madness, hockey, NBA. I'm sure you can get some tickets to see Hamilton. SeatGeek, they have it all. SeatGeek, I go there every night when I'm sitting in bed. You know, I'm trying to figure out any sort of fun events I want to do, and I was looking. The tickets for the World Baseball Classic on SeatGeek, they're not too bad. Like, I can get pretty good seats for like $60 because it'll probably sell out at Dodger Stadium. Yeah. So SeatGeek is the #1 spot, guys. And best of all, you guys already know this. All the Dirtballs get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. To get that $20 rebate, simply download the SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab and click add a promo code and enter promo code DIRTY, and SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. So download the SeatGeek app and enter promo code DIRTY today. And the Dirtballs love using the SeatGeek app. They love it. And they always love to like tweet and send me tweets. So shout out to Ray Denisco. He used it. He said, dude, I love every time you bring up SeatGeek because it reminds me to check out SeatGeek, to use the app because he got great seats to a spring training game. So shout out to Ray. Love the tweet. Yeah. And again, SeatGeek, promo code DIRTY. Do you want to see what's going on with the tournament? I feel like you're on edge.
I asked Andy, guys and gals, that we're taping this.
Guys and four gal.
Guys and the four gals. We are taping this right before the announcement of the tournament, and he didn't want to do the tournament announcement because he's doing a big event in Vegas with Maddie on Wednesday. Blah blah blah. But I want a chance to give you all a few gems.
Okay,
before you head out.
The bracket is officially set.
You're watching our excitement live on tape. Who do we got?
Number one seeds.
Number one seeds.
Villanova, Kansas. Sorry, UNC, Gonzaga.
So UNC gets it, even though they blew a 10-point lead to Duke in the semifinals. Very interesting.
Who else should have gotten that?
Well, they wanted to give it to. I guess everyone was sort of angling for UCLA, right?
Well, no, UCLA, they just lost to Arizona.
I know, but everyone was angling for that to happen. They were the team to do it, and then Arizona upends Oregon, which I think also had a chance to get that number one spot.
But Gonzaga got the number one in the West.
Yeah. So I guess it had to go to UNC by default. So it's UNC, Villanova, Gonzaga, Kansas,
and the number one overall is going to be Nova.
Oh wow! Well, they're defending champs. That's
yeah. Now, as a guy who roots for a team in the Big East, they're not weak.
They're good.
They're one of those teams, like, they're not sending guys to the NBA, kind of like how they were last year. Like they don't have any studs. They're not a Kentucky. But they're an all-around, seasoned, savvy veteran college team.
I went to undergrad at University of Virginia, and I watched them play Villanova this year. And UVA was winning by double digits for most of the game. And then Villanova just put this move on where it's like we're the champs move.
Yeah.
Hit some big shots, got a late buzzer-beating tip-in. I don't know if you watched the game.
Yeah, I remember that.
They're just figuring out ways to win. And I think, rarely do I say, that a defending champ is going to do it again. But I think they're as good as anybody, and I think they got a good shot. Obviously, they're the one seed, so they're as good as anybody.
My Xavier is a number 11. We're looking at this live as we speak, guys. And what are we looking for? You want to see Michigan got a 7 seed.
That is unbelievable to me. They're
going to play Oklahoma State. They have a good home court advantage. Indianapolis. It's not
who's
that
the
far.
2 seed in their bracket?
Who's the 2 seed? If they win, let's see here. Louisville. That's a tough matchup.
Michigan-Louisville. It's a rematch of the championship game from 4 years ago that I went to.
And it would be in Louisville, so you get a lot of fans from both sides there.
That's a huge game. How did Michigan get robbed? They've been blowing out some teams in the last few weeks. They survive, for all intents and purposes, a plane crash.
What was the plane crash deal?
Basically, it's just without going into too much detail, it's run into some real issues in takeoff. Have to do some sort of emergency. I don't think they ever get off the ground.
Did Sully come in?
Sully
or Tom Cruise?
Sully flew in. Tom Hanks, actually.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise Mission Impossible with Tom Hanks on his back. Hanks jumps off and saves it. But I think the plane veers off, skids off, and the witnesses say that the pilot actually did save their lives. They had to drive to D.C. They played their first round game in practice unis, go on to win the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
So, they're pretty hot right now. To get a 7 seed, I'm pretty bummed.
You're not a fan about that. Well, I want to talk about. So we had our intern for the summer, Joe Shaboring. It's Shabelli, but we call him Shaboring. He's really boring. So
I got that from the nickname.
I
makes complete sense.
Just wanted to verify.
Explaining your jokes. That also happened on his set.
It's not good when a comedian has to explain his jokes. So we have a lot of bets going on. He thinks they'll make the Final Four, and I'm convinced that they will not.
Who are you talking about?
Gonzaga.
Uh-huh.
He goes to Gonzaga.
Yep.
They're looking at a second-round matchup. Let me ask your opinion on this, Tug, of either Northwestern or Vanderbilt. And what I'm already deeming the white game of the tournament.
It's the white game of the tournament.
Gonzaga versus Northwestern or Vanderbilt?
Well, Northwestern versus Vanderbilt is already the white game of the tournament.
That's a good point.
So I guess they're going to double up with Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga cruises through both those teams. But congratulations to Northwestern. The first time they've ever been in the tournament.
Ever.
In the history of the school. I think there's only 5 schools in the history of the NCAA to never make it to the tournament. I was a practice player on one of those teams for 1 year, William and Mary.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. So I contributed to their inability to get into the tournament.
But you weren't even good enough to be on the team. You were a practice player.
Well, yeah, I was. Yeah, that's correct. I just wore a beanie, pretty much. But
what does being a practice player at William & Mary entail?
It means you play practice a lot.
But like, what else are you doing besides that?
You don't get girls. I know that much. Well, what happened? It's funny because all these things collided in the stories today. So when I was a decent high school basketball player, played pretty high level AAU hoops.
Sure. Well, I mean, you still, William & Mary's Division I.
Well, yeah, it was. I played with some very good players.
Yeah.
And I actually had to deal with a mild heart arrhythmia as well. So I had to basically redshirted. I guess I kind of being self-deprecating.
What was the deal with your heart?
They just wanted to make sure that I had everything was okay. This is like a little bit post Reggie Lewis.
Yeah.
And so they just wanted to make sure.
You needed Bob Knight as a coach.
I should have had Bob Knight in.
I'm sure he would have made your heart better.
Yeah, he would have. He's one of those guys that I.
Fucking pussy, what's up with his heart? Boom, share to the face.
I don't care if you have a click in your heart. Get on the freaking court. So I just took a couple months off my freshman year to get to pass all the tests. To get healthy. And then I rejoined the team.
And that's when they realized you had HIV, so you played Magic Johnson
That's
in the
correct.
play.
It all comes around full circle.
Yeah, I see how it works.
One of the funny things about being at William & Mary during my time is the best athlete at our school was Darren Sharper. And so, everyone knows the Darren Sharper story.
He went from one of the best DBs to the best rapist of all time.
Potential Hall of Famer. And I remember him working.
Darren Sharper was at your school when you were there.
Yeah. He was there, and he was working out. We were in the same.
Did he rape you?
No.
I feel like every time we come down to the clubhouse, rape is brought up. I don't know what's going on. Every time we're live down here.
But I guess what my point was, aside from those ridiculous, unbelievable, sad allegations, is like I got to watch a guy who was a great player get good at his sport.
You know what I think people need to do? And I was it Joe Rogan's podcast? I was listening to Rogan. I like Joe Rogan a lot. He was making a good point. We need to be able to. Obviously, I'm making jokes. I think as a society, we need to be able to differentiate awful things people did versus, like, let's say them as a actor or a musician or as an athlete. Does that make sense? You can be a terrible human being. Here's my point about Darren Sharper. It's kind of like what Rogan was saying. You can be an awful piece of shit, despicable human being who he's a serial rapist, correct? Like a serial rapist.
Yeah.
That comes out years later. But that doesn't take away what he did on the football field. Does that make any sense?
I see the point you're trying to make. I don't agree with it.
You don't agree? So let's take O.J. Simpson, for example.
Gladly.
O.J. Simpson, one of the best running backs of all time.
Right.
Is that taken away because he murdered 2 people in cold blood?
I don't think
it's a weird question.
I really don't think that it takes away from his talent on the field, but it taints the overall picture. You're seeing this. This is one of the hot button topics for America right now. I mean, you see this in politics. You see this in
that's what I'm saying. It's
Oscar races. You're seeing
it's
this.
It's not easy to do, and that's my point. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I know it's more of like a serious topic, but it's kind of like, okay, take Bill Cosby, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly, let's just say that. Who are we kidding? It's fucking dirty sports. We don't have lawyers coming after us. He again, another serial rapist.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking maybe 80 women. I saw him live at the OC County Fair in summer of 2011. To this day, it's one of the best stand-up sets I've ever seen.
Really?
He came out there, no opener. He did 2.5 hours of clean material that had me laughing the minute he came out. And no exaggeration. He did 2.5 to the point where, like, I had to take a piss break. Like, that's never happened during a stand-up set.
Yeah.
Do I now say that set that I witnessed is completely tainted because it's now revealed that he's been raping girls for 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
I think you have to throw the butt in there. I think you got to say. I think you have to acknowledge it. I think there's always an asterisk with these people. I mean, I really do. It's pretty sad, but yeah.
But then let me ask you this then, bringing it back to sports. Does that mean someone like Darren Sharper then cannot get in the Hall of Fame because he's basically in life for rape now? But when he played on the football field,
it's such a gray area.
That's what I'm saying.
It's such a gray area because there's so many great players. Now Darren Sharper is at the top of the list of bad people.
Sure,
but there are Hall of Famers that have been in trouble with the law and things like
murderers.
that. So,
my point is, OJ, you don't take away his Hall of Fame. He got in the Hall of Fame before he murdered people.
Do they have a separate wing for like an evil wing? I think they should have I think we're onto something.
Like spooky.
Let's have
music,
an evil wing.
Like Nightmare on Elm Street music comes on when you walk into that wing of the Hall of Fame.
And you see like the transformation of the person in a video behind them, where like you see the greatness, and then you see.
I would love the evil wing.
Evil wing is. I think we're really onto something.
I've been to Canton, Ohio, shithole town. Let me tell you.
I've been to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, so you've been there too?
I've been.
Total dump.
Yeah.
If they had an evil wing, I would definitely go back.
I mean, think about all the problems we have with Cooperstown, and every year the steroids things come up.
Yeah.
Just create a steroid wing, and make it make it out of wood.
Yeah.
And just cheap.
And like the
a tiki-
bobblehead's a giant syringe
tiki
that just
bar.
bobbles. Yeah.
I mean, give them their due, but just send it off somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree.
Evil wing. I'm going home to
Very
work on
catchy
that.
name too. You've entered the evil wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh my God! Can we go through some more? Where's UVA on that the bracket?
Where are we looking? UVA is a number 5 seed. They're going to be playing in Orlando against UNCW, which I'm assuming is UNC Wilmington.
That's correct. What are they in the Gonzaga bracket?
They're in the Villanova bracket.
Oh, so they would play. Okay.
See, here's what they do. And the selection, if you want to pop over.
Take a quick look.
The selection committee's pretty smart. They want to get good matchups.
Yep. Did USC make it in the tournament? Because I know that was a bubble team.
They are a play-in game against Providence.
Okay.
So this is our first look at the bracket.
Is Duke, and where's Duke?
The Dukies, man, this is tough to look at off the top of my head. Andy Ruther Reed. This is basically an Andy Ruther Reeds. That's what they call it.
They gotta be a 2 seed, right?
They're a 2 seed against Troy.
Yeah.
In Greenville, South Carolina.
Duke's hot right now, and they've got so much talent. I mean,
God, I hate watching them. Watched them yesterday. I mean, Grayson Allen. I might we grew up hating. I mean, Duke has a long tradition of just punchable white guy faces.
Absolutely.
I think Grayson Allen. It's now to me. It's
the most punchable.
Him and Christian Laettner are the most punchable.
Laettner's so much. No offense to Grayson Allen, who is really good, is so much better.
As a college player, yes.
It's unbelievable.
Not even close.
So I think you have to respect Laettner's. I mean, Laettner. There's something. Another thing that we talk about with Bobby Knight, like back in the day, when Christian Laettner stomped on that kid, I think I kind of look back and be like, that guy is so tough.
Yeah.
There's something about Grayson Allen that it becomes off petty or pouty.
He's a trust fund baby.
Is that right?
No, he looks like
Ted Cruz's kid.
Yeah, he looks. It's a combo. Dude, I mean, how more unlikable can you be? You look just like a younger version of Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
You're always tripping people, elbowing people, and you go to Duke. Like that's just the perfect. He would be in the evil wing of the college basketball Hall of Fame.
He would be in the evil wing. I mean, it's amazing.
But then who's a more punchable face? And I tweeted this out, I think, from my personal account one day. Who would you rather punch? And, of course, all the young millennials, I think, said Grayson Allen. But they don't fucking know Christian Laettner. Like, I still remember him growing up.
It's still Grayson Allen to me. I mean,
it's Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
If you could punch any Duke player in the face in the history, it would be Grayson Allen.
Oh, no, Cherokee Parks.
Just because of his name?
Yeah. It's a very it's just a self-indulgent name.
Did he have any Native American in him?
I don't think so.
You can't name a white guy Cherokee. Yeah, what is that? That'd be like me naming my kid Aztec Ruther.
There's so many guys on Duke, and I grew up, like I said, in Virginia, so I watched Duke's play so much. There's so many white guys along the line that and everyone's good, and that's why you want to punch them even more.
Yeah,
they're all good, but like. From Christian Laettner to a redhead Marty Clark to J.J. Redick to, Allen, and now is this Kennard guy going to be the next in line?
Yeah, he's pretty punchable too. Okay, so off the top of your head, I know it's tough for you to even see the bracket.
Yep.
Final four, Tug. I guess you need to look at.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I love Michigan is so hot right now. I'm nervous about the very first game because there's a letdown spot opportunity.
Okay.
I hope they pull a Kimball Walker from a few years ago where they run the conference tournament and then they run the table. But I'm gonna go with Nova out of the East. I'm gonna go with I hate going all number ones. I hate it.
Well, I think you're gonna have to look at your bracket.
I'm gonna go Michigan. I'm taking Michigan out to upset Louisville on a run.
Tug
Coker. Yeah.
Is taking Michigan.
A surprise.
That's a total homer, and they don't make it past. They don't
beat Louisville?
No.
No, you're wrong.
Their plane's going to crash. They're all going to die. Sully / Tom Cruise / Tom Hanks is not going to be there to save them this time.
Let me ask you this. Are you good with your brackets?
No, I suck.
Yeah.
And I own it. All these idiots. Oh, my bracket this year's. Shut the fuck up. None of us know what we're doing. It's all a crapshoot. It's always been a crapshoot. I hate when people go online like, I got the perfect bracket this year. Literally, I have no clue what I'm doing. I could give it to my mom, who probably doesn't even know what a three-pointer is, and she could probably do better than me just by guessing.
That's why I wanted to have Tommy here, because he probably would pick us some winners, and it would hit, because he knows nothing about college basketball.
Tommy doesn't follow college basketball.
He does not know.
All he knows is Alabama football and fake fuck scenes.
That's it. So, I'm terrible, too. I've been running one for 10 years for my family. I've never won it. And, there's, 32 games in the first or second round, however you want to call it.
Well, here's the good news.
I've never done.
You can enter our pool.
Okay.
Dirtballs, listen up. We're going to do one. It's easiest to do it, even though we can't stand them, through the Evil Empire, ESPN.com. Sign up. The only thing I require is that people subscribe to us on YouTube or leave an iTunes review. You have to do one or the other. I'm going to be checking. And we usually get lots of people to sign up. And we will have some prizes. We might give away our brand new J.R. Smith T-shirts, which are so awesome. I don't know if you saw these. We have we debuted them last night. We have a J.R. Smith T-shirt where he's holding a pipe and he's shirtless, and underneath it says "Lay the pipe."
Will it supplant the Bill Walton Pyramid of Success shirt? Is that the greatest shirt you've ever come up with?
I'll be honest. I like them both equally.
Yeah.
But as a guy who loves when athletes send raunchy DMs, I will be proudly.
Wow.
I will be proudly wearing my new J.R. Smith Lay the Pipe T-shirt.
This is a 5-12 upset, in my opinion.
You think?
For shirts, yeah. Yeah, I thought for sure Bill Walton would get the nod, so this is impressive.
I love the J.R. Smith shirts. So anyway, Dirtballs, if you want to sign up for our March Madness, simply subscribe to us on YouTube or leave an iTunes review.
Free?
It's totally free.
Okay.
It's via ESPN.com. I'll create the bracket tonight sometime.
I'm only sad about that because I'll be giving someone else my money because I'm that bad at brackets. I try to pick too many upsets. I think that's my problem.
Yeah.
I think I'm too good, but I'm terrible.
And Tug, where can they go watch Now We're Talking?
Guys, you can watch after you've done watching this Dirty Sports podcast on YouTube. We do have the first 3 episodes on YouTube, so you can go to Now We're Talking, look it up for Tommy.
Oh, you guys are on YouTube now?
Well, the first 3 episodes we released on there early on in conjunction.
Oh, because I watched them all through Verizon Go 90.
The preferred place to watch it, because we have so many great bonus content, is on Go90.com or the app Go90, and it's a lot of great stuff. The show is about an hour and 10 minutes total. We have about 15 minutes of some great bonus material with great athletes, like I said in the last episode, with Sean Merriman, Arian Foster, Kurt Menefee, a bunch of great guys. Go90 is doing some really cool stuff. You see Gronkowski, the Gronk, has his own he has like a version of an athlete Shark Tank that's on there.
I've seen that.
Brown.
Peter Berg has a new show on there.
Peter Berg has a QB1 show following some high school quarterbacks. It's really,
and it's
really
free.
Well
this is
done.
what I like to tell people,
it's
guys.
It's free, guys.
It's free.
Yeah.
And we said this last time you guys were on. The show's funny. It's well written. You guys are hilarious in it, and I love that you guys created it all on your own. Kind of like us, creating dirty sports from nothing, and I think that's so cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I think if you don't know Tommy and I from Now We're Talking, you'll see. Well, I'm pointing at him like he was here. He's not here. You guys can see that. But Tommy is on the show Casual on Hulu.
Lots of good fake fuck scenes.
That's Andy masturbates to. But also, you might have seen him on the Mindy Project and some other great shows.
You know what Tommy was on that I forgot about until last episode when you guys came on our show. A dirtball tweeted out, "I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia."
Yes.
Tommy was the what's it called?
It's like a Ponzi scheme guy who sells real estate.
Timeshares. That's the word. Tommy was the Ponzi scheme timeshare guy from that episode in Always Sunny, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously, we're really excited. I'm excited for him for Casual, but he's been on a bunch of great comedies. I mean, I did, as I told you before, I was lucky enough to be John Krasinski's brother on The Office for a few episodes. And then I always play a lot of athletes. On How I Met Your Mother, I played a humongous Minnesota Vikings fan.
Oh, you did?
So I invite you dirtballs to go look into the
I love when people dig up like stuff that we have guests on the show that have done. But my favorite, The Office is cool. I mean, that's great.
Office is fun, yeah.
That's cool, and that's the big show. But
whatever.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
My favorite line that you said last episode was your TV debut on Law & Order SVU. What was your line?
That's right. So I play. They bring me in. Ice-T, my man Ice-T and Richard Belzer bring me in. It's the first thing I ever do in TV. I think it's 10 years ago. And they accuse me of raping someone, and I say
once again, we're back to the rape, guys.
I say, hey guys, this is simple. I didn't rape anyone. I don't need to. So
I wonder if maybe Darren Sharper should use that as his defense.
Oh my God! Well,
guys,
too late now, bud.
I didn't rape anyone. I didn't need to.
Yep.
Well, Tug, it's always a pleasure having you on, man.
I had a great time. Again, I want to thank all the dirtballs out there. A lot of fun comments, and had some great time talking to you guys on Twitter. So
follow him at Tug Coker. You have the best NASCAR name of anybody I've ever met.
Oh my God, thank you.
At Tug Coker.
My car number 44.
You never thought about that?
No, it's actually the first time.
Lining up here at the round, going around the corner is Tug Coker, represented by Budweiser, John Deere, and Frosted Flakes.
Man, that's really good.
I don't know. I don't even know how I don't know how they do when they do NASCAR. I've never listened to NASCAR. I've never been. I'm telling you, Tug Coker is a great like Talladega Nights.
So
a character
good.
Could be Tug Coker. You never thought that your name could be a great NASCAR name?
People have a good time with my name because it either sounds like a good country boy or like one of the long lost sons of Mitt Romney. So
yeah,
it
that's
falls
a good one.
in between like that world. Depends on like where I am. They're
or
like, Tug Coker, like
very very
trip.
Yeah, I see that. Very pretentious.
But people who know me, and like this is a sports related thing. My parents named me after Tug McGraw, the baseball player for the Phillies and Mets.
Was it Tim McGraw's dad?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So there's a sports tie in there, even though people think I'm either Mitt Romney's kid or a NASCAR.
Or I got a third one that Tug Coker sounds like you'd be great doing your own comedy on like with Larry the Cable Guy and like blue collar comedies.
Oh my God!
Or what were they called? The blue collar comedy tour.
Absolutely. Who was the other guys on there?
Bill Engvall.
Yeah.
Jeff Foxworthy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Jennifer Lawrence get her start in the Bill Engvall sitcom?
Yes.
What a journey.
That's where Jennifer Lawrence started her career.
She learned everything from Bill Engvall.
Bill Engvall sitcom. Hey, it's like I say, and I'll look in the camera for this one. Thust the process. Not trust, not thrust, thust the process. That was a big Rutherism that we're going to stick with. Well, Tug, it's been great having you on, guys. Of course, follow him at Tug Coker and watch Now We're Talking.
Yep, thanks.
Verizon,
thanks guys and gal.
Yeah, Verizon Go 90. And, of course, you guys can follow us all at The Dirty Sports and go to dirtysports.com for everything about the show. Get those new J.R. Smith T-shirts. We're still selling the Bill Walton T-shirts. They're all in the shop section at the website. And, again, if you want to participate in our March Madness competition, all you need to do is leave an iTunes review or subscribe to us on YouTube and tweet that at us or DM Dirty Sports. You can follow me at Andy Ruther. I got some fun shows coming up. I'll be at the Dime Bar tomorrow in Hollywood. It's a totally free show. Dave Chappelle popped in last month, so they get some good names there. I'll probably be doing some stuff in Vegas. I'm at the Parlor next Monday, San Diego next week. Anyway, lots of good stuff.
I can vouch, guys. I saw this set last week. It's great.
Just go to andyruther.com for all my shows. And, of course, Praino's not here, but he's coming back this week. Maddie will be doing the preview show with me on Wednesday. before we head to Vegas. We're going to break down all the games. So stay tuned for that. Tug, thanks, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Andy.
It's been fun. And Dirtballs, while you're making those NCAA picks and you're trying to figure out which upsets you want and how you're going to lose your money to me, don't forget, condoms are for pussies.
With Andy, Ruther, and Joe Praino. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.